What's going on, people? It's your man, the YB, back once again. So, Ryan Garcia pulled up on Tank, the Baltimore bumslayer Davis, at his fight. Let's peep this video right quick, 100%. So you saw it there, some camaraderie rather. Obviously they fought before. The terms was whack of that fight. I think it was £135, and then there was a relegation clause. I think, right, Garcia had to get in the ring at like 145, which is ridiculous. Ryan getting in there 160 at 140 with no rehydration clause. I always believe, I don't like weight draining. I don't like weigh-ins full stop. I believe there should be some sort of VADA system where you have like in the VADA testing system, they have a passport where you track kind of your blood levels or whatever. There should be a weight version of VADA where you come in and you fight at that weight, if that makes sense. Yeah? There should be a testing agency who tests you, whatever, or you have to send in video evidence every day of what weight you weigh to make sure you're not cutting yourself down. So if you want to fight pick a weight. If you want to fight 175 pounds, you need to be a few pounds within that 12 weeks out. And every day you're around that weight. So you're fighting people, you're only cutting, maybe it should be a limit on weight cutting. You're only allowed to cut. So if you're walking around if you're in fight camp at 173 and you're 178, and your weighing day is 175, you can only go up to 178 for the whole duration of the last 4 weeks, if that makes sense. So yeah, for the first, let's say you have a 12-week camp. Well, bottom line is, yeah, for the 4 weeks before the fight, you have to weigh within that 3 pound limit every day, which basically means that's your weight. No one's going to be at 188 and constantly cutting 10 pounds every day. It's impossible. So you wouldn't do it. Essentially, maybe it's not the right way, but what I'm saying is there needs to be a way to get rid of weight cutting. This is the most dangerous sport. The last thing you need is to be dehydrated and have your brain all loose as a goose and bouncing around in your head. You can't concentrate. Have you, man, ever tried to do something thirsty? That's mad. I can't even sleep or do nothing when I'm thirsty. Yet these dudes go in there and getting punched in the head and trying to concentrate on tiny split-second movements. It's ridiculous. It's an old, dusty concept. There's no need for it. Think about it. If everyone's cutting weight to get down, what's the point? You'd get better quality fights. If no one was cutting weight, yeah, all that would happen is everyone would move up. The little 96-pound dudes would become 105-pound dudes or whatever. Nothing changes. You still fight everyone the same way. Weight cutting shouldn't be used as a kind of tool. Let's see if I can fight someone smaller. Like McTapper. McTapper was never a 145-pounder. It shows a weak mentality. Oh, I want to go in the smallest weight so I can have an advantage. It's whack. Fight people your own size. Bottom line. But you have to do it, unfortunately. If you can't be noble. Because if you just genuinely don't cut weight, then you're going to be fighting some big old dudes. Right? If you're walking around 147 and don't cut weight, you get in the ring at 147, you're going to be fighting someone 160. And that's why, to some extent, I do respect Floyd. Even though he fought bums, Floyd would walk around 150 and he'd get in the ring 147. That's how it should be done. He had pound-for-pound skills, though, which enabled him to not have to cut weight and still be able to compete. Also, he fought bums. Anyway, the point is, when he fought Ryan Garcia the first time, it was whack. The rematch is interesting. The rematch is interesting at 140 with no rehydration clause. Ryan has to make 140, though. No slick shit. Or what, Ryan needs to agree to some weight. There's no way Tank's going to fight him at 144. So forget about that. The best Ryan can pitch for now is Ryan versus Tank at 140, no rehydration clause. I wouldn't bother doing it at 140 with a rehydration clause. That's the middle ground here. Ryan would prefer to be at 144. So he's coming down to 140. And Tank would prefer a rehydration clause. So both people get something there. I'd like to see it. Now, as far as this altercation goes, I ain't gonna lie, it was a bit I saw this t-shirt he had on the front it said Tank's #1 fan. I was like, what's this goofball doing? But then on the back of the shirt he showed him, it said rematch me, ITCH. So yeah, this guy a goofball. We know this about this guy. He goofball. So goofy dudes, goofy TikTokers are gonna do goofy TikToker shit. So I expect that. Now, do I think the rematch will happen? Let's see what Tank said. Tank, this is the problem with Tank. Tank said, oh yeah, I'll fight him and I'll do this, I'll do that. And then he mentions about 3 names. That's the problem with Tank. Tank, he never has a direct call out. I want this. After every fight, he says, yeah, I'd like to fight Shakur. Yeah, I'd like to fight Ryan Garcia. Yeah, I'd like to fight Lomachenko. And then it ends up, every time, it goes quiet for about 6 months, and then he pops up versus a bum. Every single time he mentions every name, and then fights none of them. And I think the strategy of mentioning every name is effective because it doesn't commit you to anything, right? You're able to keep it obscure. Like, oh, no one really knows what he's doing. He might fight them all. In reality, he wants to fight none. Yeah? Oh, my team doing this. I don't decide fights. I listened to Calvin Ford, Tank's trainer, say, oh, it's not in our control. Shut up. Tank is the bona fide A-side. Tank has so much power right now. He's able to kick Floyd Mayweather's fighters off his cards. Kermel Moton, which is essentially like the Tank Davis 2.0, one of Floyd's little proteges. Tank kicked him off the card because he's associated with Floyd. Tank said, listen, I ain't putting Floyd on no more. Yeah? Because Kermel Moton was backing Floyd, basically. And Tank said, don't cut the hand that feed the mouth, because Floyd tight. Floyd might be a billionaire or 100 millionaire. He ain't passing no coin to you, though. Oops. Yeah? So that's the kind of power Tank has. Don't tell me he can't. Trust me, people. There's not one man from 130 to 140, or any man, even Terence Crawford. If Tank wanted it, there's not one man who's going to turn down 1 million pay-per-view buys, right? Shakur Stevenson, he ain't going to turn it down. Although he turned down Devin Haney, though. He did turn it down. So who knows what these corny guys be doing, right? You get the point. They all corny. Yeah, Shakur got offered 25% to fight Devin Haney, who was an undisputed champion with 4 belts. He said, no, I want more. Shakur, you ain't got clout like that. You a bare bum in the shower. You don't have no belts. Shakur has no belts, has no clout, and he wants more than a challenger percentage. You've lost your damn mind. Sit down somewhere. So they all play themselves. They're all playing weird political games. That said, don't be fronting. Don't be fronting like you want to fight someone. Tank Davis. That said, I do think, I'll say this now, if Tank is ever, after that arguably was his best win, or it's up there, yeah? After that good win, if Tank doesn't fight Lomachenko now, I believe he never will. Now is the perfect time. There's absolutely no more bums to be fought. There's no more random bums hanging around in that weight class. So if he doesn't fight old Machenko, now he never will. Tank's career will go the way of Floyd from 2014 to whenever it was, them last 5 years, where he just fought Guerrero, Berto, all them ones there, them washed up ones, McTapper. That's how Tank Davis' career has been. Frank Martin's like a Berto or a Guerrero, them kind of caliber. Victor Ortiz, yeah. Tank Dave, who else he fought? I guess he fought Rolly. Rolly's worse than a Berto. What's Rolly doing? Nothing. He's useless. He got punched up by that old Egypto-Mayan cat, 50-year-old looking ass. Barroso punched him up. So, Tank, apart from a weight drained looking Ryan Garcia, that's his only claim to fame. The rest are B-level bums. Yeah? If you don't fight Lomachenko now, who's old, he's never going to fight him. And he'll just carry on fighting the Robert Guerrero kind of cats. The ones who, yeah, you know you're going to win them. It's now or never for him. He's damn near 30 years old, and he's got a whole bunch of experience now. He's even had a half-tough fight with Pitbull Cruz. Right? So, when are you going to pull the trigger now? When is he going to take confidence? If he can't take confidence after drawing or beating Pitbull Cruz, after beating a weight drain Ryan Garcia, after stopping Rolly Chiniero, knocking out Frank Martin. When are you going to get confident? If you don't believe in yourself now, when are you going to do it? Never. It's now or never for him. He's called out Shakur. Or he said, look at all these titles here. He's called out Shakur today, Lomachenko, and Ryan Garcia here. Listen to this. Specifically.
What was the conversation about with your number one fan in the ring after the fight?
Oh, Ryan? He's crazy. He's crazy. Talk about rematch. He said I was the best at 135 to 42. He said that. Say he want to fight me again. I'll kick his ass again.
See, when Tank speaks, same as at the post-fight press conference. Yeah, that Jim Gray said to him, who do you want next? Loma? Shakur? He's like, oh, well, yeah, I want them all. My team will look into it. Kind of thing. He's always distancing himself. Same here. Oh, do you want to fight Ryan Garcia? Well, yeah, I would. If we fought again, I would kick him. Kick his ass. Let me replay it one more time.
Fight me again. I'll kick his ass. He said that. Say he want to fight me again. I'll kick his ass again.
He said he wants to fight me again. I would kick his ass again. That's not. He said he want to fight me again. I told Al. I'm fixing to tell Al this week. Put the contract in for December, end of year, whenever. Right? There's never that from him. There's never, hey man, I've told Al I'm going on holiday, and after that the contract going to be sent out within 30 business days. Something that binds him to it. It's always loose as a goose. And then he pop up with a bum. And my base case now, unfortunately, I'd love to believe he wants to fight Lomachenko. I'd love to believe that. I don't know. I don't. I think Tank has followed Floyd's, even though they're beefing right now, Tank has followed Floyd's blueprint. And Floyd's blueprint is what? Shane Mosley, 38 years old. Lomachenko's only 36. Tank will fight Lomachenko when he is 40. Because 38, 20 years ago, is like 45 now, with how science and living has changed. Fact. And sport has changed. Athletes are they have much more longevity than they used to. In any sport you look at. In football, you never see a football player like Ronaldo, damn near 40, competing at the top level still. You was washed up by... I remember when 20 years ago, you was at 30 years old in football, you was old. 20 years ago, sorry. 25, 20 years ago, at 30, you was old in football. 35 was like, oh my God, this guy is long in the tooth. Now it's more like 40, you're getting a bit long in the tooth. In the NFL, you got people like Tom Brady, he was 40 odd. That would never be the case before. You was getting to the end of your career at any age. 30, if your age began with a 3, it was half over for you by that point. So, Tank, he don't even want to fight a 38-year-old Loma. He looking for the 42, 43 kind of Lomachenko, I reckon. 5 years from now, he'll say, yeah, I'll take Loma. Hope I'm wrong though. I really do hope I'm wrong. I'm seeing the same bars. If you listen to Tank's post-fight press conferences for the last 5 years, it's the same bars. Oh, even with Tevin Farmer. Tevin Farmer at the time had a belt. There was some buzz there. Even then, yeah, I'll fight Tevin. Never went nowhere, and Tevin got beat by... Tank would have smoked Tevin, right, on hindsight. Smoked him. At the time, it was like I tell you what, Tank versus Shakur, now, not as big. But back then, same kind of thing. Shakur can't punch. Tevin can't punch. So literally, we're 5 years later, and we got Tevin Farmer's more like Devin Haney, but same thing. Yeah? Tevin Farmer, Tank Davis, 5 years ago, is exactly the same as Tank Davis and Devin Haney. Now. Or Shakur now. He says this, that, the other, it never happens, and he fights some bum somewhere. People wanted to see the Tevin Farmer fight at the time. It was a belt. Tank didn't want it. He didn't want Lomachenko 5 years ago. He didn't even want Tevin Farmer 5 years ago. Oh my God. What do you want? A bum is what he wants. Washed up bum. Look at his career. He fights all these washed up Abnamares type of dudes. Has-beens, 45-year-old has-beens. That's his MO. Washed up. Old, over the hill, well past it. That's what you're looking for. Yeah? Same as Floyd Mayweather with Mosley. Mosley, 40. That's when Floyd want to fight him. De La Hoya, 50, damn near. 40 or whatever he was. Old, washed up. Floyd want him. Pacquiao, 40, washed up. Yes, Floyd's older, but Floyd's style isn't purely based on being young. He has the IQ. That's not Floyd's fault that he's got a great IQ, but Pacquiao was about speed and engine. Pacquiao was always going to be more vulnerable to age than Mayweather. Mayweather isn't stupid. He knows that. Mayweather's been using rehydration clauses and weight clauses and aging people out. He knows how the game works. Oh, you're older. That's going to affect you more. Oh, Floyd said, I'm in no rush. Floyd knew he's in no rush. When Manny was pinging and super speedy, super quick, Floyd ain't in a rush to fight him. He knows. Listen, I might be 2 years older than you, but as Pac got in there and kept having tough fights, hard fights, Floyd just sat back fighting bums, and then, I'll fight you now. Oops. So yeah, hope I'm wrong. Hope Tank proved me wrong, but my bet is he fights a bum. Another random you'd never heard of. I'd heard of Frank Martin, but I hadn't heard of him like that. This was Frank Martin's coming out party on a big stage. That is always the case for Tank. People had heard of Rolly, hadn't done nothing. Tank put him on. People had heard of Ryan Garcia, hadn't done nothing. Tank put him on. Tank is always their first big fight. Lomachenko would not be Tank's first big fight. Yeah? Shakur, it probably would be, but Shakur's at least been undisputed. You can't knock that. Ryan Garcia never won a belt. Rolly had never won a belt. All the other bums he fought had never won a belt, or they had won a belt 5 years ago in a different weight class, 2 weight divisions down. Anyway, let me know your thoughts. Smash the like button, subscribe. Let off the bell. Smash the like button, subscribe. Not that bad. Stop it.